that there is a connection between the physical and the mind. And so when you're treating the body without treating the mind, you can't get healing.
The family has a key role to play in both physical and mental health.
Mental health is a cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being of a person. It is all about how people think, feel, and behave. People sometimes use the term mental health to mean the absence of a mental disorder. Mental health can affect daily living, relationships, and physical health.
There's so many things under mental health. We talk about mental well-being, we talk about mental wellness, we talk about mental disorder. So there are so many things under mental. When we're talking about mental in itself, we're talking about the brain, we're talking about everything that controls the mental functioning of an individual.
Mental health disorder can be caused by different factors. For instance, one's genes and family history, one's life experiences such as stress or a history of abuse, especially if occurred in childhood.
Mental health issues affect children and adolescents.
For example, children, they can suffer from separation anxiety if they are being separated from their mother at birth. And at birth, children need attachment. And this secure attachment helps their mental health. But for a child that is abandoned by his or her parents, this can lead to separation anxiety for the child. Even adolescents, all these pubertal changes, especially in the females, they are concerned what is going on in my body, what is happening to me, and if there's nobody to counsel them, they become anxious. And if this anxiety maintained for a longer period can lead to anxiety disorder.
Biological factors such as chemical imbalances in the brain, a traumatic brain injury, a mother's exposure to viruses or toxic chemicals while pregnant, use of alcohol or recreational drugs, feeling lonely or isolated.
Even from conception, we do know that if a woman is smoking, is drinking, and all this now, Colorado and all sorts of things, and happens to be pregnant, that baby is in trouble.
Substance abuse, Indian, alcohol, cigarette, cocaine, heroin, and all these date drugs that people are using could make an individual develop mental illness.
Having a serious medical condition can also affect mental health, and it would be safe to say everyone goes through one mental health or another, as there's no one without a brain. In this part of the world, we usually do not pay adequate attention to our mental health, and that makes it difficult for it to be measured. The question now is, do we have capacity or facility to handle the population?
When I was at Yaba, people will come, they will wake up as early as 3, 4 a.m. to come all the way from Badagry to get to Lagos. There's no mental health experts there. Showing that even though you have the greatest number of mental health professionals in Lagos State, in Nigeria, in Lagos State, it doesn't even spread around the whole of Lagos State. My village does not even have a doctor, not to talk about a mental health expert. So anybody who is sick in my village, they think about going to Aro, coming to Lagos, or going to Wesley Guild Hospital. So mental health care is not accessible to people, to great majority of people in this country. We have the number of psychiatrists in England and US, Nigerian, is far more than those of us working in the country.
Is mental health related issues peculiar to one's age bracket, or does it cut across all age brackets?
Anybody can be sick, anybody can have mental health issues, and the most important thing is accepting, finding treatment, and moving on in life once again.
Yes, without the head, there is nobody. So we are all mental beings, we are all physical beings, we are all spiritual beings. All these are part of who we are. Somebody can have accidents, head injury, and have mental problem. It's not everything that is genetic. People have had typhoid, cerebral malaria, and they develop mental illness through there. They didn't cause it for themselves.
Is there any way out of these mental disorder or an effective way of managing it?
As a developmental psychologist, I always feel that we have to focus on the area of promoting the mental health for children and adolescents in terms of engaging them, because they need social support from the family, from the school, even from the society at large. They need our support, and also they need us to equip them with coping skills. Some of them are being faced with peer pressure, and yes, for peer pressure there is positive and negative one, but how do they handle the negative ones? Have we equipped them? Have we given them the skills for them to navigate that area?
According to Stephen Aitchison, and I quote, "Emotional pain is not something that should be hidden away and never spoken about. There is truth in your pain, there is growth in your pain, but only if it is brought out into the open." End of quote. Everyone needs a doctor, especially psychiatric, as we move with our daily activities year in, year out. At what point should one seek medical attention?
If you had experienced or you noticed that you're not functioning as optimally as you used to function, you notice that your mood becomes perpetually low, you notice that you have lost interest in life or even the things that you used to enjoy. If you notice that peradventure that you are becoming too irritable, you're withdrawing from people, if you notice that your motivation and your drive, the energy level has become so low, and unfortunately in this part of the world we don't seek medical attention when it comes to mental health issue because of the issue of stigma, discrimination. So when you notice that this individual is deviating from normal, in terms of functioning, occupational functioning, physical functioning, and every other thing, and you notice that it's not, this individual can't cope with life's challenges, and in 2 cases again, then if you notice that, you encourage them to come for help, you encourage them to seek medical attention.
COVID-19 has been a beast in the past few years and has affected so many people and families. Reports show that it has caused a lot of damages, especially mentally, to many, both young and old.
Even COVID-19, this pandemic, it affects the children to an adolescent. During the lockdown, most adolescents could not cope with it because it keeps them away from the social interaction they have with their friends. They are alone, don't go out, don't do this, but nobody is giving any counseling to them. And in future, these things are what causes depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, because it's just going to be there. It has affected their mental health, and it's just going diminishing over time.
The coronavirus has changed a whole lot of things. People from high class that brought them to low, people who felt they were average just went down like that. So many things have happened. And then when you now look at what's happening in our nation, Nigeria, we went from the coronavirus to the NSAS, to the NSAS, it went back to coronavirus, and then we went into the issue of kidnapping, banditry, and every other thing like that. The issue of the inflation in the prices of things, the economic has not even gone back to what it used to be.
Some psychiatric hospitals, including Psychiatric Hospital Yaba, have been making efforts to sensitize the general public.
Yaba Voice had curated a platform that has allowed people to become more informed about what mental health is all about. So it's not just about mental illness, mental health as a whole. And so that platform had enabled a lot of people to have more information that they should, has also allowed a lot of people to know and understand that what they are experiencing is a form of mental illness. And so they need to come to the hospital. It's not spiritual. It's not the wizard from their home that is pursuing them or any other thing. And so we made mental health as accessible as possible. And we also help to destigmatize it so that people can assess the help. Yes, we know that the coronavirus had so much effect. Yes, even within couples who had not always stayed together, issues of quarrel and everything. And these are some of the things that we talk about oftentimes and every other thing to help people understand how they can cope, how they can deal with all of those things.
It is no news the government cannot handle it alone. What is expected of government, corporate contributions, citizens and general public as regards mental health? How affordable is mental health care?
Affordability, when you don't even have money to take transport from the village Think about people who will say in a riverine area that we have to take canoe. So it's not affordable. To great majority of Nigerians, it's not accessible. It's not available.
Healthy mothers give birth to healthy children. How can mothers reduce the rate of vulnerability for their kids?
The sickness in the mother can spell danger for the child. And if there is a genetic problem, the child too may inherit it. But let's say even we have a healthy woman who gets pregnant and the doctor says you are going to have cesarean section. Generally, people are afraid of going for cesarean section. It's not my portion. They may go to churches, start praying, go to mosque, and then they go and deliver. And when they deliver there, the woman may labor for days. If the child happens to survive, I will say congratulations. After 4 days in labor, and the baby is born. Maybe weak, cry and things like that, they slap and then the baby is there. 3 months down the line, the baby's head continues to knock. The problem has started. And those are the children you have a cerebral palsy. Because what we should have done, we have not done it.
So parents can even take their children to the psychologist for mental checkup. That means they have no problem yet. Just take them for mental checkup and make sure that all is well. There is nothing harmful in knowing that all is well. If the psychologist tell you, oh, all is well, madam, no problem, keep on doing the good work you are doing. And in that aspect too, the psychologist can even empower the child with some skills, problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and also boost their self-esteem, because this is very important.
The world will indeed be a better place if we can all pay better attention to mental stability. There are several things that can affect mental health, but simple regular checkup can help us live better. At Ayiki Media, we hope to give health information to better your lives.
Disorder, no, but follow disorder.